So we're back again with another Polymarket update, and this one's good because this one's going to highlight exactly how cooked America is. So we're going to talk about the Democrat presidential nominee for 2028. And I want to ask you, just imagine, like, when Trump won, I thought the Democrats were done. I thought the mainstream media was cooked. I thought the fake news, specifically places like CNN, MSNBC, DNC, I thought they were all toast. I never thought we'd ever elect another Democrat again. But the last three elections, the Democrats won by a landslide. So I feel like it's about that time we start talking about who might be the final nail in the coffin for America. Now, here's the contenders, right? We got Gavin Newsom, the biggest scumbag in political history, like the rat weasel, used car salesman. Like, you wouldn't even buy drugs if you were a junkie fiending out for your last hit because you wouldn't trust this scumbag to sell you some crack cocaine. AOC over here, your favorite bartender, who, I mean, could you imagine this girl on the world stage trying to pretend like she's running our country with this Jewish space lasers? No. We got Pete Bootyplug, the man who was literally pulling his bikes out of his SUV and then tried to make it look like he was fighting climate change and riding his bike to work when literally he was just driving. You know, that's Pete Bootyplug. And then you've got Kamala Word Salad Harris over here, who allegedly was at Diddy parties blowing Bonnie Blue out of the water before, you know, OnlyFans was a thing. Kamala was taking 1,000 dudes. So we won't talk about, like, these are the front runners. The Democrat Party is so confident that they're just going to rig the election and they could pull the wool over your eyes, that these are going to be their front runners. And then they're going to use their power in the mainstream media. Where are we going to end up at, folks? Where does the country, what does America look like when Gavin Newsom comes in and opens our borders? So if you guys haven't been paying attention to what's happening right now, you know, Mayorkas spent like $230 million building this infrastructure that allowed, 30 million migrants to illegally invade our country over a 4-year period. Well, since then, me and Oscar, Oscar specifically has went over to Panama. Me and Oscar got smuggled into Guatemala via water rafts by the Mexican cartels to prove to you guys that this infrastructure that Mayorkas put in place is still operational and still functioning to this day. Now, it's not taking tens of thousands of migrants per day, but it's taking hundreds, if not thousands, a week. And what they're doing is they're all getting spread across Mexico, and then some are going up to the northern border, and with a one-click visa process or refugee approval, they're getting asylum in Canada and they're getting asylum in Mexico. So all of the infrastructure just needs to stay in place. And if Gavin Newsom or one of these scumbags actually makes it to win the presidential election, and they take back the House and the Senate, and they open the floodgates, we are going to see a wave of weaponized migration that I think collapses civilization here in America in under 2 years. Maybe it takes all 4, but I think in a 4-year period, we're going to take roughly, I don't know, if I had to take a guess, 60 million, maybe even 80 million illegal immigrants over that 4-year period. So I want to know who you think would be the biggest nail in the coffin. Who would be the worst case scenario if they actually became president in 2028? Swing over here to Polymarkets. It's a predictive market site. It's where people actually wager. They put money where their mouth is. So these are the odds, and the odds ain't looking good.